Here's an example to help you with any Venn diagram questions that don't have Venn diagrams, but instead have tables. It's still the same idea. It's just we use a table when we have too many categories to use a Venn diagram, right? A Venn diagram works for two categories when you have the MasterCard symbol, and then three categories when you have the thing that, I don't know, looks kind of like Mickey Mouse, but it has the three overlapping circles. And anything more than three categories, it gets too complicated and too ugly, too many overlaps to try and do it with Venn diagrams with circles. So it's much easier to just put the information in a table. So let's say we've got a real simple scenario. They have, I'm just going to use, they have a characteristic A, B, and C, right? And we'll call them male and female. That seems to be pretty common, ways of grouping things. It could, just as easily be yes and no for, like did they smoke, yes or no, or did they vote a certain way, yes or no. But they normally give you what we call like a 2 by 3 or a 3 by 2, 3 rows, 2 columns. Doesn't really matter. This could have as many rows and columns as we want. It's not going to change the way we do anything. So let's just fill this in with some random numbers. How about 90, 50, 20, 120. I'm leaving them all with zeros to make the math easier. 30, and how about 10? Okay, so now they can ask any question you want, and it's really just a matter of counting up the things that satisfy that question. So let's try the first one in red. How about the number of things in M union, let's say B? So that's saying the number of things that are either a male or in the B category or both, right? So male, this whole column, B, this whole row. Of course, we don't want to count the 50 twice, so it's really just 90 plus 50 plus 20. Of course, if they gave you, column totals, then you could just use that number right there. But if they don't, just do it yourself. And then we have to add in the 30. Don't use the column total, or sorry, the row total over here because that'll end up counting the 50 twice. So it's better just to count up all the individual numbers. All right, so that's 140 plus another 50, so that's 190. Okay, but how about sorry, let's do this in a different color. No, we'll leave it in red because we'll do the number of men intersected with B, and hopefully you're all screaming at the screen going, well, duh, that's 50 because that's where the two things overlap. Okay, so those are easy. Okay, how about in green, we'll do a number of things that aren't female. Well, duh, if it isn't female, it's got to be male, right? So that's going to be just these three again. Add those up, and you get, what is that, 79, 160. Okay, how about in blue? Number of things that are, let's do C union female, complement. And very simply, we're basically looking for everything that is outside of this union. So if you think about the union of the C category and the F category, we're putting all of those things together, right? That would be C union F, but we want the complement, which really just gives us the two pieces that are left over, and that's 140. See how this is working? All right, how about a number of things that are in the complement of M, right? No, let's do the complement of A intersected with females. Let's try that. Okay. Well, if it's in the complement of A, that means it can't be in the a row. So instead, you're taking these two rows because that's the complement of A. And you're taking those two rows and you're intersecting it with the females. So can you see that, and I'll do this in yellow so you can see where it's coming from. It's this one and this one because that's the complement of A, and then intersected, right, with that. And you can see that 30 and 10 are the two overlaps. So that's going to be 40. Okay? And that's how you want to tackle tables, guys, is draw the table out on your scratch paper if you have to. And then as they ask you questions for numbers of things, just start circling the appropriate rows and columns. And if it's a union, you know that you put everything together and you make sure not to count the overlap twice. If it's an intersection, then of course you look for that overlap and that's all that you count. If they're asking you to do complements, it might be easier to kind of scratch things out. You know, you can draw these tables over and over again. Of course, I did one because I'm pressed for space. But if you were going to try and tackle this one on your own, it would probably be easier to just kind of scribble this one out so you can't see it, and then know that, okay, it's the complement of A, which is this stuff, intersected with F, and you kind of circle and circle and go, all right, it's these two, and you're done with it that way. So don't be afraid to scribble stuff out and draw the tables over and over again, and basically just use up a lot of paper and pencil to figure these things out. Maybe draw a whole new table every single time you answer the question if it's a multi-part question, or if you have to do a multi-step because they're asking you to do a complement and then something else, maybe you need to draw it twice. But that's just the way to do it, guys. You have to draw a picture so you can see what's going on.